Welcome to Headphone News, Greater Vancouver edition for Wednesday, December 4, 2024.
Recall of salad kits in Canada due to salmonella risk. A recall has been issued for the Taylor Farms Sweet Kale Chopped Kit because of possible salmonella contamination. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency, known as CFIA, announced this recall on December 3, 2024. These salad kits weigh 350 grams and have a best before date of December 6, 2024. Consumers in Canada, including those in New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, Ontario, and Quebec, should either throw away or return the product. Salmonella can cause serious health problems, especially for at-risk groups like young children, pregnant individuals, and the elderly. The CFIA conducts regular inspections to ensure food safety and prevent contamination. This situation highlights the crucial need for food safety regulations and consumer awareness.
Impact of Canada post-strike on Charities in British Columbia. The ongoing strike by the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, which began on November 15, 2024, is having a big effect on charities in British Columbia, Canada. Many organizations are seeing a drop in donations during the important Giving Tuesday period. The Vancouver General Hospital and the University of British Columbia Hospital Foundation estimate that donations have decreased by about 15%, resulting in roughly $1 million in lost income. Meanwhile, the Canadian Cancer Society has reported an alarming 60% drop in donations made in person, which adds up to about $2 million. This strike has interrupted mail services, making it hard for charities to send out brochures and receive cash or check donations. As a result, many charities are now urging people to donate online as an alternative way to raise funds. This situation highlights how much many organizations depend on traditional mail for contributions and raises worries about the lasting effects on charitable giving. The strike emphasizes the need for charities to adjust to these changing circumstances and look for new ways to raise funds.
Retired Canadian Captain's discrimination claim. A retired Canadian Armed Forces captain, Andrew Goff, has filed a grievance with the Canadian Human Rights Commission, claiming unfair treatment because of his support dog for PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. He is seeking around 140,000 Canadian dollars, which is about 103,000 US dollars, in compensation. Goff's military career started in 1999, and he was deployed to Libya in 2014. After returning to Canada, he faced mental health challenges and was diagnosed with PTSD in early 2016. He says the unfair treatment began after he started using a support dog named Riggs. This case sheds light on ongoing issues related to mental health support and discrimination in military environments. The outcome could lead to significant changes in how the Canadian Armed Forces address mental health and disability rights, potentially helping many veterans and active service members.
Stabbing incident in Langley, British Columbia. 2 teenagers were hurt in a knife attack in Aldergrove, a neighborhood in Langley, British Columbia, Canada. The police, known as the Royal Canadian Mounted Police or RCMP, responded to reports just before 4 a.m. on December 3, 2024. Officers found one victim with stab wounds and soon located a second victim nearby. Both teenagers were taken to the hospital with injuries that are not life-threatening. The police are investigating and looking for witnesses to gather more information. This incident raises concerns about rising teen violence in the area, influenced by social issues like gang violence and conflicts. Community safety is a priority as authorities work to address these challenges.
Fog advisory update for Metro Vancouver and Fraser Valley. The fog advisory for Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley in British Columbia, Canada, has been lifted. This advisory was put in place due to a thick blanket of fog that caused near zero visibility in some areas. Environment Canada has warned that fog could return on Tuesday evening. Weather conditions have been influenced by a high-pressure system over southern British Columbia, which is typical during winter. Travelers at Vancouver International Airport faced minimal disruptions, with only one flight cancellation reported. Residents are urged to stay cautious during fog advisories, as visibility can drop quickly, leading to dangerous driving conditions. In Watson Lake, snowfall is expected to reach up to 40 centimeters, while parts of the north coast may see up to 125 millimeters of rain. Understanding these weather patterns is crucial for staying safe during winter travel.
BC man sentenced for assaulting CBC journalist. Vojislav Zamukic, a 58-year-old man, has received a suspended sentence and 1 year of probation for attacking a CBC camera operator during a protest in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada, on February 19, 2022. This incident occurred at a rally supporting the Freedom Convoy, a movement against COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Judge Delaram Jahani stressed how important it is to ensure safety for journalists in their work. As part of his sentence, Zamukic must complete 50 hours of community service and stay at least 100 meters away from the camera operator. This case raises serious questions about the safety of journalists during protests and the broader implications for media freedom. The Freedom Convoy protests have drawn significant attention in Canada, highlighting critical issues regarding public safety and the treatment of media personnel. This incident underscores the need to protect journalists who cover controversial topics. Zamukic's actions and the court's response could influence future cases involving assaults on journalists.
Search for missing paramedic continues. The search is ongoing for Jim Barnes, a paramedic who went missing near Chetwynd, British Columbia, Canada, on October 18. His partner, Michaela Sawyer, believes their dog, Murphy, has been found alive after 6 weeks. Murphy was discovered injured and very thin last week, raising hopes for new leads in the search for Jim. Search and rescue efforts in the remote areas of British Columbia are challenging due to the rough terrain. Community support is crucial in these situations, providing essential help and resources. The emotional burden on families dealing with missing loved ones is significant, highlighting the need for awareness and assistance. This situation emphasizes the importance of local search and rescue teams and the strength of community unity during times of crisis.
Canada Post-Strike Update. The Canada Post strike started on November 15, 2024, with 55,000 workers demanding higher pay and better health benefits. Talks are still happening between Canada Post and the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, or CUPW. Labour Minister Stephen McKinnon mentioned that there hasn't been real progress in these discussions. This strike has caused big losses, estimated at over $750 million, which could reach $1 billion as the holiday season approaches. The situation is impacting mail delivery services across Canada, especially for small businesses that depend on on-time deliveries. This ongoing strike highlights the importance of quickly resolving labor disputes to reduce economic effects during critical times.
Buck Pearce takes the helm as head coach of BC Lions. Buck Pearce has been named the new head coach of the BC Lions, a Canadian Football League team based in Vancouver, British Columbia. This marks Pearce's first head coaching role, having previously served as the offensive coordinator for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, where he celebrated Grey Cup victories in 2019 and 2021. Pearce steps in for Rick Campbell, who was let go after the Lions finished the season with a 9-9 record, meaning they had an equal number of wins and losses. With his experience as both a player and a coach, Pearce is expected to bring fresh ideas to the team. His leadership could lead to changes in the team's strategy and how they engage with fans, ultimately affecting the competition in the CFL. The BC Lions are eager to improve and aim to bring the Grey Cup back to British Columbia under Pearce's guidance.
Chronic wasting disease in British Columbia. A fourth case of chronic wasting disease, or CWD, has been confirmed in a white-tailed deer in the Kootenay region of British Columbia, Canada. The BC Ministry of Water, Land and Resource Stewardship is encouraging hunters to help track this disease. CWD is a deadly neurological illness that affects deer and similar animals. Since the first case was identified earlier in 2024, the province has reported a total of 4 cases. Over 3,000 samples have been collected from the Kootenay region, which helps scientists understand how widespread the disease is. To manage the situation, a control area has been established, covering 14 out of the 225 wildlife management units in the province. In this area, hunters are required to submit samples from the deer they harvest. The Skeetchestn Natural Resources Corporation is actively involved in collecting samples and raising awareness about CWD. Early detection is crucial because once the disease takes hold, it's nearly impossible to eliminate. Health Canada warns against consuming meat from infected animals due to health risks. Hunters play an essential role in monitoring wildlife health, which is vital for conservation efforts and public safety.
Warning for Taylor Swift fans about ticket scams. The Better Business Bureau in British Columbia, Canada, is warning Taylor Swift fans about ticket scams ahead of her concerts in Vancouver. Scammers have taken $2,000 from fans trying to buy tickets. In a related case, a woman in Toronto, Ontario, was arrested for selling about $70,000 worth of fake tickets. The BBB advises fans to purchase tickets only from trusted vendors and to check their authenticity, especially for popular events like Swift's concerts. It's also recommended to use credit cards for extra protection against fraud. With the high demand for tickets, it's crucial for fans to stay alert and informed.
Memorial service for John Horgan announced. The Government of British Columbia has announced a memorial service for former Premier John Horgan, who died at the age of 65 after a battle with cancer. The service will take place on December 15, 2024, at the Q Centre in Colwood. This event will give the public a chance to honor Horgan's important achievements, especially during his time in office from 2017 to 2022. Horgan is remembered for his guidance during the COVID-19 pandemic and his efforts to improve affordability and relations with Indigenous peoples. The memorial service is expected to draw politicians, family, and community members, reflecting the respect and admiration for Horgan. His passing marks a significant moment in British Columbia's political history, highlighting the impact of strong leadership during tough times. That is all the news for today. Thank you for listening to today's Headphone News. News summary brought to you by AI.